Silent Hill. Such a lovely place. Much nicer than those cities full of crime and drugs. This little town would never accept that kind of behavior. The people in this place are much more in tune with reality and a simple life. They are a God-fearing people which would never turn to drug abuse or criminality. Same with me. I love Silent Hill. This place is far nicer and upkept than somewhere like Detroit, Chicago, New York, or the fictitious city known as Los Angeles. There are far fewer crackheads in the street here, and you are less likely to be acid attacked by an undesirable whilst walking down the street. Everyone here is part of a loving community, and I would never do anything to upset the harmony between the people. Silent Hill 2, initially released in 2001 for the PlayStation 2, and then this version was released in our depressing era of the 20s, or 2024 to be exact. When the debut trailer for the remake made splashes onto the internet, it was received rather harshly, and I would be lying if I said I didn't join the bandwagon against this game. It looked like a turd, and in most aspects, it was a little lackluster. To be fair, the original was also a little lackluster in areas. However, despite its fault,
Stop! Leave her alone! Leave us both the hell alone!
it still held onto the collective psyche of wannabe psychologists, autists, and the emo/goth types. So, how did this version come out? This remake has some wonderful aspects to it, and a few downsides. Everyone made a big deal about how the characters were less attractive than in the original, and while I do agree, I think people are focusing on the wrong aspect. Sure, Angela looks like a potato, but the real question is, why is everybody's head so big?
Almost identical to humans. This is unbelievable.
They don't quite look like super deformed characters, but it's getting pretty close. So, Chibi Hill win. A word of warning. I will be spoiling everything in this game, so if you haven't played it yet, all I can say is, yeah, it's pretty good. If you don't want to pay for it, you have options that, well, they're free. You just gotta know where to look. And you being the smart individual you are, I know you can fight it without too much of a hassle. So, let's start our romp through hell. The classic opening of James staring at himself in the mirror, washing his hands, and thinking about finally giving up. Do it! Which then leads to a nice calming walk through the woods. The atmosphere draws you in and lets you know that this is about the nicest things are going to be in this little game. So, if I were you, I would enjoy this area, because things are about to get fun. As you can see, I have the chainsaw. You will not have this your first run through the game. Personally, I love the idea of running around a town with a chainsaw slicing up the crackhead population. There is something cathartic about it, and not psychotic in any way. In the remake, the developers decided to expand this opening area just a bit. You get to walk around town for a bit longer than you did in the original, and then they make you solve some really brain-dead puzzles, so that's really nice. The only question I have is, why the hell do I have to find a button to activate a record player? I mean, technically speaking, it's not even a button, it's a keycap. Okay, I'm not James, so I'm far from the smartest person in Silent Hill, so I guess I should just defer to his superior judgment. After listening to the wonderful record, we find ourselves walking to the Woodside Apartments. This place is a little on the creepy side, but all in all, it's no worse than any budget apartment around me. A cacophony of noises from drug-addled neighbors. Homeless people squatting in apartments that should have been repaired years ago. Legs for their bodies as well. Well, that does seem a little different. Anyway, it even has a fat guy that shot another person.
I swear I didn't kill him.
And a depressed woman in her early 20s or late teens.
If I kept it, I'm not sure what I might do.
I mean, really, this is your bog standard place of residence here in the old US of A. The only thing that is different is that they make you solve puzzles for the most basic of things. And I believe that you can figure these puzzles out without the aid of the internet. Mostly because I'm pretty sure one of these lying things just ate your Ethernet cable. Yeah, look behind you, pal. I haven't played the original in probably 5 years, so I'm a little hazy of the exact differences, but I found the remake to be a little easier to follow than the original. Now, it could be that I've become more mad in those few short years, making these types of illogical puzzles easier to solve. Or, more likely, they're just easier. The only thing that poses any type of threat in these apartments are these fucking legs. Well, that and your sanity, because they enjoy putting these bugs everywhere that keep making noises. As you can see, the apartment looks, well, it looks pretty good in a really run-down and shitty kind of way. So I think it's safe to say that the remake is pretty nice looking. Even if it uses UE5. Yay. This area goes by pretty quickly, and before you know it, you find a strange-looking murderer tweaking out right in front of James. Then you blast him. I mean, you're shooting a giant piece of metal repeatedly with a 9mm, so it's not going to do anything to him, so, But again, I'm not the smartest person in Silent Hill, so I'll just defer to his logic. Our new friend didn't take our shit too well, so he left. And, naturally, we followed him. This takes us over to the second half of the area, the Blue Creek Apartments. This looks more like Detroit than Silent Hill. I think I want to go back. Then again, this place does look a little nicer than Detroit. There's fewer people trying to murder you and, well, you're not getting chomped on by dogs. Huh. How much is rent here? Silent Hill 2, 2001, made the Blue Creek Apartments less otherworldly, like the original game, and just kind of made it more dilapidated. As you can see here, they went with a rusted, grimy look that the games are well known for now. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I do appreciate it in some way, but it also diverges a little too much from the original. As you can see though, this place is still creepy as hell. The puzzles in this area are pretty simple. If you have the slightest skill with math or memory, then you can pretty much get through this without any effort. That being said, from years of allergy meds and the occasional blow to the head, my memory nowhere could do well. So this might actually be a brain-dead puzzle. You, being a smart individual, can probably get through this without thinking. By the way, I think I see something in the corner of your room. Yeah, behind your bookshelf. Oh, you don't have one? Interesting. After these lovely puzzles, we get to fight the big man himself, and you better believe that chainsaw made quick work of his ass. After going a few rounds with Pyramid Head, he finally leaves. And we follow for some reason. I suppose we do have a not quite dead wife to go find. You know, it's rather funny. Now that we find ourselves back in this creepy, foggy town, it almost feels safe when compared to the apartment complex. Next, we gotta go find the not-so-dead wife. There is a nice little reprieve when we find I Can't Believe It's Not My Wife. We follow her through a motel, which is not in the original, if I remember correctly. There's a reference. It's not really that challenging, but after this you do find quite a few crackheads and acid spitters. If you can dodge a crackhead, I'm pretty sure you can dodge a ball. So, we find ourselves heading to the strip club next, which, you know, I mean, it could be a decent place to take a little break. And to be honest, I thought that we'd find more medication in this place, but we find a lot of handgun ammo. I wonder what that implies. After we dip out of the strip club, we head over to the theater. And we find Eddie devouring a melted bucket of ice cream, I guess. And then we find Laura running around being a pain in the ass. I really want to know where the hell that pizza came from. I mean, you know it was delivered, and... Actually, maybe that's where Pyramid Head went. Regardless of that, we follow Laura to a creepy hospital. And I love me a good creepy hospital. Here is where we find the most evil, scariest enemy type in this whole game. Women. They act all cute until you get too close to them, and then they pull out a piece of rebar and beat you with it. It's a good thing I got my trusty chainsaw. Laura is still acting like a little shit, so we gotta go hunt her down and give her a good talking to. Possibly even throw her off the roof if she pisses me off. Puzzles. They're much of the same, running around smashing into random doors, using basic thinking to solve really basic puzzles. It will take a bit of time, but all in all, it's not really that challenging. After solving these puzzles, we head up to the rooftop where we encounter our favorite pizza delivery men. We get tossed back into that building faster than you can say, "What the fuck?" But hey, we ended up exactly where we wanted to be. We found Laura, and then we have a small discussion and disagreement, and then the bitch locks us up in a room with a monster.
See a fart face?
Maybe I should throw her off the roof. Flesh Lips here was not too happy when I hacked him up with a chainsaw. And then his friend got me and, well, now we're in the hell version of the hospital. In terms of the environment, it's more of the same. And the puzzles, again, more of the same. So, just get through them. They're not hard. And then, Maria jump scares the shit out of you. Get stabbed, and then we leave. In this next area, they decided to remove all the fog. In the original, it was like this, but it was much darker, and you really couldn't see anything. Whereas here, you can see just about everything. Also, in the original, everything wasn't rusted to shit, so slight difference, but not sure how I feel about it. And this part also feels like it goes on for 5 to 10 minutes too long. I would classify this area as nothing more than padding. We wind up back in the garden, talking to a potato, and she runs off. We get a key to the Historical Society, which leads to my favorite place in the original. A damp, dark prison with no hope of escape. But in the remake, they've changed things quite a bit. I feel rather ambivalent towards this area. It's not bad, but it's not quite what it was. I will say that I did enjoy the puzzles in this area. Perhaps I'm simply gaslighting myself into thinking that these are good. And if you couldn't tell, I'm playing this wonderful game on the PlayStation 5. Why do I bring it up? Well, it was in this area that it struck me that the developers put a lot of effort into how the controller vibrates. So every time a siren goes off or it's raining outside, you can feel it in the controller. And I thought it was just a nice addition. It makes things more tense in areas. Or it could also just be that my dog jumped through my door and scared the shit out of me while this was happening. The next area is the labyrinth. Probably my least favorite place in this game. Naturally, we have to jump down several holes that don't represent depression or spiraling down into a hell of our own creation. Personally, I think James is just jumping down all these holes and taking absurdly long staircases because he really has nothing better to do with his life. This area, like I said before, is my least favorite. The reason for that being is that everything looks pretty much the same and it goes on for just a bit too long. If they could have reduced this, it would have been much better. It's not an awful place though. We find Angela, and then we take out her nightmare with minimal effort because we have the chainsaw. This fight is naturally more challenging without the chainsaw, but, you know, it's still fairly easy to dodge every one of his attacks. So, good luck. The design of this area is also very, provocative. Giggity.
Or you could just force me. Like he always did.
Angela, I don't know who you think I am, but I don't want to hurt you.
The following area is when things start to fall apart just a little bit. It becomes very repetitive, much like the script. We have the rotting area, which is very green, disgusting, and has bugs everywhere. And it also has some of the most annoying enemies in the game. If they didn't scream at you, stunning you in the process, this could be slightly more enjoyable than it is. So that dodge button is going to be your friend. Next up is the desolate area, which is desolate. I have to say that this is probably the weakest flashlight in existence. And I know that it is an older flashlight, but come on. Anyway, this area is the most annoying and tedious to get through. But on the bright side, our favorite pizza delivery man lives down here. Why does a nightmare have a home again? Huh. I don't really know, but I'm guessing rent around here is probably pretty cheap, because it's hell. It might even be free. You know, I might have to look about moving in here. You know, just avoid the guy with a giant knife trying to kill you. Huh. I'm not actually seeing the difference between this and other apartment complexes. The last area goes quickly, so that is something to be thankful about. After running from our favorite pizza delivery man and dragging his sword through a gigantic wall of hands, we confront Eddie.
But you know what? It doesn't matter if you're smart, dumb, ugly, pretty. It's all the same once you're dead. And a corpse can't laugh. You're just like the rest of them, James.
No, I don't want.
Shut up!
And thankfully, his squishy flesh is no match for my mighty chainsaw. That being said, he is quite accurate with that gun, and he will kill you very quickly. After murdering this guy with a beautiful chainsaw, we leave, and we hop on a boat, and we head to my favorite place, the hotel. And I know this is going to sound a little strange, but to me, this hotel has a very depressing, oppressive kind of vibe to it. More so than the apartment complex or the hospital, at least to me. We stumble around the hotel for a minute, and then we finally find a little hellion that tried to kill us. She's a little more kind in this area, and as a result, I don't think I'll be throwing her off the roof anymore. That and I don't think we can get to the roof. The puzzles here are more challenging than the other ones. However, like the other ones, they shouldn't stump you for too long. Everything is interconnected, and I doubt there will be too much of an issue finding things unless you have a really bad memory or just don't know how to think. Enjoy the hotel because things are about to get more rusty. We finally make our way to the special place, also known as this room, which has a VHS player, and we put in that tape we found. It plays a memory, and we definitely didn't kill anybody.
I killed her.
After remembering the thing that we didn't do, we find ourselves in hell. The environment looks wonderful, and I kinda wish we could spend more time here, but alas, we are almost done. James chats up Angela one last time, and then it's off to fight the pizza delivery men. Wait a minute. Well, why are there two? Whatever. They are very stabby, so taking evasive maneuvers is definitely necessary. In fact, I got penetrated a few too many times and nearly died. And Maria dies again. Yeah. And wouldn't you believe it, the final boss is also Maria.
I won't let you do this to me. I won't let you go. I can't!
This bitch won't stay dead. But like everything else in this world, nothing can withstand my mighty chainsaw. So we hack her down to size.
James. James.
We head back out into the town, find Laura, and leave. And then Mary reads out her letter. I have to say, in the original, it was much more emotional than it is here. Yeah, it's coming from me, I know. Shut up. And that pretty much sums up the game. It's a nice little romp through hell. and I really didn't appreciate the labyrinth area and some of the art direction changes. But all in all, it's pretty good for a remake. The original is still better in many regards, but if you are the type of person that doesn't like extra clunky controls or old PS2 graphics, I might have a few problems with you, but I can understand why you are the way you are. This version is pretty faithful to the original. The dodging mechanic is nice, but can make the enemies a little less threatening when you get used to it. This version also makes you feel more competent in fighting. If you haven't banged through the game before, I would suggest that you stop and go play the damn thing. Or you could go watch all the other several hour videos on it instead of playing the game. And I would not think any less of you for doing that. Or would I? Yeah, I would, and I am. Join me next time for a look at modernity and why social degradation is fun.